All right, welcome to an early premiere of my new segment, Bravolebritea Daily, where I break down the hottest topics of the day and give you a little bit more tea. As you know, I'm on TikTok and I can only do so much. There's only a certain amount of time that I can deliver the news. But as much as I love chatting with you guys on TikTok, I want to be able to go into more depth about some of these stories so that you can get a little bit more into the tea, if you will. So the way the show goes is I'm going to run the 5 daily hot topics, and I'm going to go into them a little bit more in depth for you. And as always, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment down below what you think, and also do not forget to hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss anything that I'm going to be putting out. So let's get right into it. So we have a lot of things going on that could be hot topics, but I feel like based on the way the week has gone, it is Sunday. So we've had a finale from Real Housewives of Miami. We found out that Dolores's ex and Louis's ex are now officially dating. So we're going to get into that. We also need to talk about how Erica Jane has put in an official claim to state that she is not responsible for any of the mismanaged funds or loans that went into her EJ Global business. She's claiming that she had no idea, she wasn't in charge, she wants to be left out of it. So we're definitely going to dive into that. And then obviously, you guys, I'm super excited. We had our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City finale last Sunday. So tonight is part one of the reunion. So we're going to get into it. But first thing I want to talk about is Real Housewives of Miami had their finale on Thursday. And as you know, Alexia has been a pivotal part of the season because she was supposed to get married. We were supposed to see her walk down the aisle with Todd, and everything seemed like it was going, not so well. She wasn't having the best of luck with picking venues. And Gertie, even though she's an amazing event planner and all that, there's just some things that are just completely out of your control at times. But it seemed like towards the end of the season, we were getting to see a little bit more traction. Like she was able to find a venue. Things looked like they were on the up and up, if you will. So the next thing was to just kind of actually pull the trigger and get married. And unfortunately, in the finale, we learn that Alexia's mom, who's already ill, caught COVID-19 and was admitted into the hospital. And it was just heart-wrenching because the way that the timing played out was her mom, she'd been hospitalized for COVID-19, but it was ramping up on the day of when Alexia and Todd were supposed to get married. So unfortunately, and this was horrible to watch, but it was so touching the way that the production, I felt, put all of that sensitive information into the finale. Because, when you're dealing with the death of anyone, specifically a parent, and it's being filmed, and obviously that wasn't something that was planned on Alexia's part, but the wedding having to take a back seat to Alexia's mom unfortunately passing, and then them having to do the funeral and all of that being captured was just, it just gave me goosebumps. And if I'm honest, I think I sobbed for more than half of the episode just because it was just so sad. But it was also great to see that although whatever issues some of the ladies had with each other, like a good example of this was Nicole and Marisol. Like they obviously didn't vibe with each other. They didn't seem to like gel past some of the issues that they had with one another. But when it came down to supporting Alexia, Nicole really came through. And I really enjoyed watching that. And I enjoyed watching Marisol kind of have like a full circle moment and realize, you know what? We may not have gotten off on the right foot, but the fact that you're doing this for Alexia, who's a really good friend of mine, shows that you're a really good girl. And so I think we can move forward and try to rebuild a friendship here. So I enjoyed watching that. I thought it was really hilarious that Lisa no one gave Lisa the memo. Like, I don't know if that was something the production did or I don't know. But the memorial service that Nicole held at her house, Lisa ends up showing up and she's wearing like a bright green, and it was just an eyesore. But luckily, it wasn't the funeral. But I thought that was really funny. And then I don't know, the Lisa and her husband dynamic. I want I think I just want more out of him. Like, I feel like he leaves her high and dry, like emotionally and mentally, and kind of almost makes her look stupid, like as if he's trying to make her look stupid on purpose or try to blow up this caricature of what she probably, is perceived to be in other people's eyes. And so I kind of thought that was odd. And that kind of was the theme throughout the season. So I hope that something shifts. Like, I hope that he sees how he's acting. I hope she sees how he's acting. I hope they can do something with that. But all in all, was a great finale. I thought the season for a reboot hit everything that we wanted, and it proved that it deserves to be here and it should have never left in the first place. So I loved it. I hope you guys did. But let me know in the comments what you thought of the finale. I definitely want to know. All right. So the next story I want to talk about, because this came out of left field. And at first I thought it was just a really odd rumor or blind item. But then the picture came out this week and they are clearly official. So Dolores from Real Housewives of New Jersey and Teresa's new fiance, Louis, their exes, David, Dolores's ex David is now dating Louis's ex, and they're seemingly official. They posted what seemed to be like a very official post, if you will, and people were like on fire. Like, people, when I first posted it on TikTok, I kind of did it as a joke. I duetted Doja Cat because she has this one video where she looks like she's about to say something and she ends up not. But anyhow, I kind of threw it out there and people were blown away. Like, my comments were just flooded with what are you talking about? How is that even a thing? Wow, New Jersey must be a really small place. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, how is this going to work? Because I know that although Dolores and David are no longer together, as we watch this current season of New Jersey, we see Dolores talk about how difficult it is because David got really close to Dolores's kids, and he was even friends with Frank. So it's not like he's going to disappear and completely go away. And then on the other side, we have Louis, who's Teresa's fiance, who we also see kind of being exposed a little bit about his past on this current season. And I believe, allegedly, the woman that is now dating Dolores's ex is the ex that Louis made that weird video about, or went to that weird boot camp type thing that everyone's talking about on New Jersey. So I don't understand how this will kind of play into the show, if you will, because it's very close in proximity for them not to discuss it. So it'll be interesting to see how long this goes on for and what the real motives behind, well, specifically Louis's ex, because we know, David has been on the show and whatnot. So I don't think he would be using this as a motive to stay on the show, but I could see her doing it to get close to the show, maybe to further expose Louis. But I guess we'll have to keep watching the story. And obviously, I'll keep you guys updated on any new developments on those two. But it was definitely not something I was expecting to read or see this week. So, like I said, let me know in the comments, though. I want to know what your thoughts are. Do you think that couple will last? A lot of people in my comments said he'll probably end up marrying this girl. And I guess what they're referring to is sometimes when a guy takes too long to make a commitment to a woman that he's been with for a little bit, they tend to, when it doesn't work out, they tend to leave. And then the next woman that they meet, they suddenly like buckle down really quick, and then they get engaged, and then they kind of make that commitment that the other woman was kind of waiting on. So I don't know. We'll just have to kind of see how it goes. But definitely keep watching New Jersey, because I think we're going to start to get a little bit more insight as to who Louis is and maybe who this woman is, but I'm going to be doing some of my own research on her just to kind of see like what her vibe is. All right. So, another quick little story that, I mean, it's not a real story, but over the weekend, Kyle posted some videos and she was with Kathy and Kim and they were celebrating their daughter's engagement. So Kyle's daughter was recently engaged, Farah, and I believe Kim's daughter, Whitney, also was newly engaged. So I guess they did a combined engagement celebration. So the whole family was there. It looked like a great time. And then Kyle posted a picture of Kim, herself, and Kathy, and the caption said, "If these balloons could talk." Now, a lot of people at first glance probably wouldn't have paid that caption in the photo any mind. It's just another event, whatever. However, if you're looking at it from the show's standpoint, we obviously know Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 12 has wrapped filming for the season. We also know that Lisa Rinna has been kind of coming after Kathy on some alleged things that happened in Aspen that Kathy clearly doesn't want talked about, allegedly, and is, as of late, I think last week, Lisa Rinna was still kind of poking fun because Kathy was then seen at a Super Bowl party when the finale was being filmed. So, and understandably, we need to know that Kathy is a friend of the show. She's not a full-time, so she's not actually obligated to necessarily show up to the finale party, although it's probably welcomed specifically for her to show up. I don't think she was going to have any part of trying to have any of those alleged things that may or may not have happened in Aspen be brought up over and over again, as Lisa Rinna is very well at doing. She likes to, own it. She's a truth seeker, so this is very on par and on brand for Lisa Rinna. And I think some of us fans kind of were a little hesitant of how much Kathy was getting herself involved just because we didn't know what would happen. But it seems like now she's kind of not dealing with it. So I'll be kind of shocked to see how the show deals with it in the storyline aspect of it. But with Kyle specifically, we've seen a situation where she's placed in the middle between her sister and Lisa Rinna before, and that was with Kim Richards. And yes, Lisa was antagonizing Kim about her sobriety and saying a lot of things that I think, had it been a friend of mine that had said that about a sibling of mine that was dealing with, addiction or substance abuse or any of that stuff, I think I would make it very clear where I stood. However, I do also know family dynamics can be tricky, and there's a lot to unpack between these three sisters. I mean, we just witnessed Kyle and Kathy rebuild their relationship after not really speaking or engaging for almost 10 years. And so when this whole thing came out, everyone's looking to Kyle to be like, well, where are you with all this? Like, how are you, whose side are you on? Are you actually going to back up your sister? Or are you going to keep, being in the middle and trying to stay neutral because you don't want to burn any bridges and you don't want the show to necessarily go in this weird direction? So it'll be interesting to actually see what she does with the information, because as we know, she was not in Aspen. Kyle was filming the last Halloween movie when they were all in Aspen. So she was not there for any of these alleged things. But going back to the caption, "If these balloons could talk." Now, it was a picture of her, Kim, and Kathy. And I think subliminally, and as cryptic as it may sound, I think what she's trying to relay without giving away too much is that she's clearly going to stand with her sisters. Now, that's how I read it. There's no way that Kyle's going to side with Lisa over Kathy. I just don't see that happening. Maybe if it was Kim, maybe, but I think with Kathy, there's way too much that they've had to work through for them to get thrown back into a bad place because of Lisa Rinna and something that was allegedly said or not said. So in my heart, I feel that Kyle's going to come through for Kathy and have her back. Now, if I'm wrong, then I will eat crow, but I really do feel the way this is all lining up that she's definitely not going to excuse this behavior from Lisa Rinna, if you will. So we will stay tuned for that. We'll have to see. Obviously, we should be getting a trailer in another month, hopefully, because they've already started filming intro cards for the new season. So that usually means a trailer's not too far behind. So I'll keep you guys abreast if any other developments come up. But I do feel like Kathy may win this one. We may not even actually see this be brought up. I'll be very surprised, but she has a lot of influence in the media, so we'll have to see. But let me know in the comments, do you guys think, some of you guys really do think that Kyle's really going to go up with, like, in terms of standing with Lisa on this, which I was kind of surprised at, but nothing really shocks me anymore. So if she did take that route, I wouldn't really be surprised, but I would kind of be disappointed. Just because of the sister dynamic that they just spent all that time trying to rebuild on, and now this whole situation. But it's clear that they're still in the same room together. They're still able to, like, be together. That's why I think that this is not going to be in favor of Lisa Rinna, but we'll keep watching. All right. So the next topic that came out this week that I'm not even shocked by this, but it's really interesting how Erica continues to not want anything to do with any liabilities that come along with this whole issue of the burn victims and widows not getting their money because Tom was allegedly spending it on EJ Global and lifestyle and planes and all this stuff. So now she's put in a new claim, basically saying that she wants no parts of accountability when it comes to the $25 million in loans that Girardi and Keese basically put into her EJ Global account, because she's saying that she was not in charge of the book. She's not in charge of the finances. She never got to look at any of that stuff. So she should not have to be responsible for paying any of it back. Now, this isn't something that we're going to be shocked by. I think if you've been following me on TikTok or any other Bravo creator out there, we have been covering this Erika Jayne situation all throughout season 11 as it was happening, even more so the things that were happening in real time while season 11 was airing. But now we're getting into the thick of it, and I think Erika's proven that she's got no empathy or compassion for the victims or the widows or anybody affected by any of these cases. And I get that maybe she wasn't in charge of the finances. I get that she probably didn't see everything that was coming in and out or didn't understand everything that was coming in and out. I'm not expecting her to. I don't think she's a lawyer. I also don't think that she was that crafty about knowing about this to the point where now she doesn't want any responsibility. But what I will say, and what I've always said, is that's not stopping you from having compassion. I don't see where you having compassion is going to lead you to look guilty. You already look guilty by association. And then these actions that you're taking make it more clear to people that you don't care and that you're all about yourself. And I get it, you're in defense mode, but there's definitely things that can be done that could alleviate both sides. I do think that there's a middle ground. I mean, it's if it was me, I wouldn't even want to keep any of those items. Like, I get it, but like, you make your own money now. You live in a nice house. You can start over. You know what I mean? So it's that part of it I never understand. I never will understand it. And it'll be interesting to watch how her storyline plays out on this upcoming season of Beverly Hills, because it seems like she's not, although it may not be all about her, I think there's still a lot of issues within the group pertaining to her, and it's clear because, you know, at least one of the people I know on the show that is currently not a fan of hers and has unfollowed her is Garcelle, because Garcelle, I mean, she started to see some cracks in Eric's story last season, and I think now, you know, it makes sense. There's just been too many things, from the earrings, her not wanting to turn those earrings in, to the now saying that she wants to have no liability because it wasn't her problem when it comes to this $25 million in loans that EJ Global received. It's all just selfish. But I'm not really surprised, guys, because it's Erica Jane, and look how she's been thus far. There's not been one time where I've looked at her and said, oh, wow, that's good. I'm glad she's taking a step in that direction. It's always been like every single thing that she does, she makes it about herself. And it's not like, this isn't some petty little scandal that the media outlets just can't let go of. This is real people's lives. These are people's lives were impacted by this. And the fact that she's just walking around oblivious and could care less is, I think, what's more maddening to people than anything. So I will keep you guys updated on any further Erica Jane news. Obviously, this case is not going to be settled. I think there's more than one case here, but I think this whole situation, rather, is not going to be settled anytime soon. So we'll keep you updated, obviously, but I wouldn't be expecting her to turn over a new leaf anytime soon. All right, lastly, we need to talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. The reunion part 1 is coming on tonight. And guys, it looks great. I'm glad that they switched back. I had heard originally they were thinking about doing a 4-part reunion, and it's now confirmed that it's just 3 parts, which I think is great. I don't think we need 4-part reunions at all. I think 3 parts is good enough. So I'm happy that they're sticking to that. So tonight is part 1, and from the looks of the trailer, we obviously know Mary Cosby is not going to be there. But there's so much stuff that happened throughout the season that it'll be interesting to see how they kind of navigate through that. My only fear is that Lisa Barlow may be the scapegoat for Jen's whole situation. I know they're going to touch on Jen's criminal case and all the things that she's allegedly done. But it's also interesting because of the way that they have Lisa being targeted as someone who's fake and stirs the pot. And, you know, they're totally going to use that rant against her to kind of validate. And she knows that. We heard it in the trailer. She's on her audio telling a producer, like, you guys throwing that in there is just validating what these women are trying to do to me. And listen, I've said this on TikTok. I'm saying it now again. I have become such a fan of Lisa Barlow as I've watched specifically this season. And yes, I see moments where, is she stirring the pot a little bit? Yes, but that's the job. That's the job of the housewife. And we love that. I love that. And I love that Lisa is becoming this like iconic housewife in the making. Like, she gets the assignment, and I absolutely am here for it. I am here for Salt Lake City. I think, you know, at first people were not really sure of it, myself included. And I think we're on a roll now. I think we've gotten the ball rolling. I think we're in there, and I'm excited to see how this reunion plays out. So I will obviously keep you guys updated on tomorrow's show, what I think about part 1. And I can't wait for all the tea that's going to come out from all the other ladies regarding what they say about Mary. And obviously Mary won't be there to defend herself, so it'll be interesting to see what they say, because sometimes when the lady in question is not at the reunion, everyone takes that chance to make up a narrative, or kind of they get the last word on that person, which is why they always say that people should never skip the reunion, because it's your last chance to take control of your own storyline and narrative. But with that being said, guys, this was my early premiere episode for Bravolebritea Daily. It's my new YouTube show. I will be doing it every day, 7 p.m. Eastern Standards, when you can watch it. Hit the notification bell. If you've already subscribed, thank you. If you have not and you're just thinking about if you should, please do, because there's more coming from here. And don't forget to like me on Instagram. Also, if you haven't followed me on TikTok, if you're just discovering me on YouTube, head over to my TikTok. You get your daily news on there in quick, short little audio video bites. And also remember that I am now featured on Cameo. So if you need a birthday message or you want to help promote your business, you can do so by clicking down. All the links are down in the description box below. I can't wait to talk to you guys tomorrow, and have a good night. Enjoy the Salt Lake City reunion. Bye-bye.